All right, hey, what's up guys? Coach Mac, Play Fast Football. All right, today I'm going to do a quick video on a stunt that's helped us a bunch versus gap schemes when we go to our 4-down front. So make sure you check it out. A couple of our partners I want you to take a look at. GameStrat, sideline replay company we use. Been using them the last 5 or 6 years. We use them here at Bishop Kenny High School. If you're looking for highly reliable, highly affordable, check out GameStrat. Dome Hats, the headwear company we use. Bishop Kenny High School. Play Fast Football. I used them when I was at Ridgeview, used them when I was at Baker, used them when I was at Orange Park. So every high school I've been at, I have used Dome Hats, completely customizable. Guys that used to coach, guys that played football at Florida, they know what's going on. Make sure you check out Dome. Baker Sporting Goods, company we use for sideline gear, practice gear, spirit packs. Our uniforms are distributed by them. They're actually in the shoulder pad business now with pro gear stuff. Make sure you check out Baker Sports. Just Play software we use, playbook software we use in a lot of our meetings. I have a defensive meeting today with players, and it's in our install presentation. So it is the best play drawing tool on the market. It's what I use for my Patreon site, any clinics I'm going to do, and presentations with our players. Difference USA, the ultimate striking machine. Get thousands of reps without needing a partner. Just you and a Difference USA machine. It can attach right to the racks in your weight room. Don't have to teach another player how to hold a bag. Don't have to worry about resistance, getting anybody injured. Just a player. Difference USA machine. If you want to strike violently, you have to practice striking violently. Check out Difference USA. And then XandOnotebook, company making customizable player and coaches notebooks. So like in today's meeting, if all of our players had that notebook, okay, and we are going to get our hands on them hopefully in the future because I want my players to be able to take notes. I want it in one spot. I would like to set up the note pages the way I want them with their diagrams that they can draw on and where they can write notes that they need to write. Coaches can have notes during game plan meetings, so you can have 1 or 2 for the entire season. Maybe you have 2 first 5 weeks, second 5 weeks. Now all your game plans are in one place. You can eliminate all those old legal pads, yellow pads, note pads. Where did I have this? Where did I have that? All your stuff, one location, completely customizable. Front cover, back cover, looks professional. Check out XandOnotebook. All right, so most of you know we are a tight front team, 3-down team. We play 3-3-5 personnel. So 4-down is a change-up for us. Used to be a 4-2-5 team. All right, love everything about the 4-2-5 structure. All right, so when we go to over fronts or we go to our 4-down, we play over front defense. When we do that, all right, one of the stunts that has helped us tremendously versus gap schemes is what everybody or all the, what I would call the big timers, all right, college guys, NFL guys, I always see it referred to as a torch stunt, okay? And it's a stunt between the 2-eye and the 3 technique, all right? Sometimes maybe you can play them as double 2s, double 2 eyes, however you want to do it, all right? But it's an interior stunt based off the block of the center. So the reason it helps us versus gap schemes is when we're seeing gap schemes, usually you're going to get a back block from the center. And what it does is it builds in a natural, what I would call hump technique. All right, so versus that back block, when they are pulling a player in a gap scheme, they're getting extra bodies to the front side. Okay, so if you're like us, one of the things we struggle with is when kids want to just get off the ball and they don't understand block correct, when the 2-eye gets off the ball and the center blocks back, a lot of times he just gets pushed, all right, a gap or 2 further, or he's up the field and they are running the ball, all right, to the other side. So not only does he not add himself with the pullers, all right, but he kind of takes himself out of the cutback lane, and you get these huge cutback lanes because when he gets off the ball that hard and he doesn't feel the pressure, all right, of the back block, so his visual key pulls, all right, his pressure key's coming back. If he doesn't fight pressure back through that, now he's going to leave. And a lot of times in my experience, when they just go up the field and the back block comes, they get blocked even further out. And now, if your will or your backside backer is too far or too fast over the top, sometimes that A-gap power or those inside counter plays can come back all the way behind, and it makes a bigger running lane. So what this does is it allows us to build in a nice natural read stunt to where we're reading the block of the center. So wherever the center blocks back, we're going to get a loop over the top. Okay, so when the center blocks back, whoever's away from the block back has to chase the hip of the center as hard as they can. All right, the player that is to the center's block back is going to loop over the top. So when we get that gap scheme, if they block back on the 2-eye, running power front side, all right, we get the natural loop of the nose over the top. And then all we've got to do is we've got to work on it in practice so we can clean up what it looks like to that backside linebacker and where he needs to fit, what his windows look like based on what that loop is doing, right? So if you got it the other way, it's the same thing. So if they wanted to run, depending on how you had your front set, all right, if they wanted to run the scheme the other way, Now they're going to back block the 3 technique, right? Now, you won't always see it to the 3 technique because some teams will try and scoop the 3, all right, or cut off the 3 with a tackle. But if you saw it to the 3 technique side, it's the same deal, right? So to the 3 technique side, if that's the back block, well, the 2-eye gets the center away, so he's got to chase that hip as hard as he can. The 3 gets the back block of the center that he's reading, so he becomes the loop player. All right, so it builds in a natural stunt for us to where wherever the center goes, all right, wherever the center goes, we get that hump over the top naturally, which is a technique that a lot of people teach versus back blocks. Visual key, pressure key. My visual key disappears. Pressure key, the next adjacent lineman. Here comes that back block. I either need to fight pressure through it, or depending on how you teach your scheme, you may want to hump it back over the top because that's how you're gaining bodies to the front side of plays that have pullers, right? So it's not terrible against zone schemes, all right? You'll get the same effect depending on how they're trying to block the zone scheme, right? So it's the same deal. Even if we got a zone scheme, it's the same deal for us, right? So if you got front side zone and you got, maybe the center was working a combination there and they're trying to work that scheme, well, what's going to happen is the center, all right, is going to work away from the nose. So the nose is going to try and chase that as hard as he can. Tackle's now going to loop, and a lot of times in the zone game is that looper ends up helping you take away the cutback lanes. All right, so that looper goes behind and ends up taking away the cutback lanes. Again, the guy we got to work on a lot is the will. What does that picture look like to him? Okay, so it's not just a gap scheme. It's not a stunt just for gap schemes. It helps us a bunch versus center back blocks and gap schemes, but we can also run it versus zone. All right, and if you get past set, it kind of the same thing. It just builds a natural inside stunt. So a lot of times if you're an over front team, you might see half slide pass protection. Okay, so they're going to slide the center one way or the other. All right, so if they set the 5, set the 3, and they slid the center, and this side became the zone side, right? So half slide, the center is going to set a zone side. So if these 3 had these 3, right, and they put it back on the mic, however you want to do it, well, now what happens is when the center half slides away, the 3 tech chases, and now we loop. And a lot of times if your players get good at this, when the 3 tech chases, all right, he tries to pin the hip of that center. So now when you get the loop, hopefully we can get the loop. If the guard sets the 3 technique and he tries to cross his face and it's a man scheme, he's going to post back inside to try and take him. So now if that 3 technique can get across the guard and pin the center, now we got a chance to get the nose looping back behind. All right, so it's also effective when done right in passing games. It builds us a natural inside stunt in versus pass protection versus half slide, right? Full slide would be the same thing. Wherever the center slides, that guy's going to loop. The other guy's going to try and pick his hip as hard as he can. Okay, so very good versus gap schemes. Still is not terrible versus zone schemes. I like it as an inside stunt versus half slide pass protection, right? So when we call it, we're not saying that we're only calling it for gap schemes. We're not saying that you only run it versus a back block of the center. We're running it versus everything. Wherever the center goes, that guy's going to loop and the other guy's going to try and pin his hip, and we get a natural exchange inside. The one thing that you got to work on, inside run, team, whatever it may be, got to work on what that picture looks like to the backers, what that stunt looks like, and if they're basically guys that are fitting, and fitting open windows, scraping closed doors, however you want to do it, well then you just need to let them play, and whatever windows they see, if the looper is in that window, then you're either going to scrape it or you're going to fit behind it. All right, if the looper doesn't get there and that window's open, then you're still going to fit that open window. All right, so hopefully this helps you out if you're a 4-down team. Neat little inside stunt. Most people call it torch. All right, and it's a read stunt off the center. All right, I appreciate everything you guys do for Play Fast Football. Remember, if you're not a subscriber, hit that subscribe button. All right, if you turn your notifications on, ring that bell. You'll know every time we do a video, every time we go on YouTube Live. Thumbs up, thumbs down, leave a comment. I try and respond to every comment that I can see on my end. If you are interested in screen game on offense, we are doing a clinic tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern. It's a Zoom call. It'll be videotaped, and I will post it as a private link on my YouTube page and send it out to everybody that registered. If you're interested in registering, email me at sting8740@gmail.com. Again, sting8740@gmail.com. If you're interested in registering for the screen clinic tonight, my head coach will be doing it, Coach Krause. Really good offensive mind, does a great job with the screen game. So if you're interested in that, email me. Thank you for everything you do for Play Fast. Hope everything is going well. Remember, you won't play well until you play fast. Chasing 4 million views. See you guys next time.